Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just going to wait a second for a few more people to come on. I've been a bit busy lately, but the reason why I haven't made any new videos on the Arana Nation, which is my YouTube channel, is because my phone is completely broken and I have to wait until Wednesday to get it. These are just a few announcements that I'm going to give before I get on to the topic of this video. But for now, I'll just make a video on Facebook. But again, to all of my Arana Nation subscribers, I haven't forgotten about you. My phone is dead. It's completely destroyed. I'm probably going to get one on Wednesday, but the moment I get another phone, I will get right back to making more videos for the Arana Nation. Hi, Rob Cheshire. I see Amadeus is on. Trev, Rob, Gary, Charles, Rob Cheshire, James Van Strine. So, the reason I'm here to make this video is because it seems that all of the Muslim terrorists all over the planet, hi Michael Butler, he's just joined, but all the Arabic, Muslim, Islamic terrorists around the world who have even the slightest thing to do with Canada. They don't even have to be citizens or residents, even if they just lived here for 2 days. If they get caught doing terrorist activities and they get into trouble, they automatically try to sue the Canadian government. And an Algerian ex-Guantanamo Bay refugee, not refugee, a prisoner from Guantanamo Bay from Algeria. I can't even pronounce this dude's name. Something like Jamal Aji, whatever the dude's name is. Big old beard, big old fat beard. He came to Canada from Algeria, lived here for a very short time, doing nothing. Canada said, you can't be a refugee in this country, because he did try to apply for refugee status. Canada said no. So he left, bummed around the world for a bit, went to Afghanistan to commit to violence and stuff like that. And he got caught by the Americans. And the Americans put him in Guantanamo Bay. Whatever the hell they did to him, they probably beat the hell out of him. But now he's trying to sue Canada for $50 million. He has nothing to do with Canada. He says, oh, my rights were violated. My rights were violated. He doesn't have rights in this country. He's not a Canadian. He's not a Canadian citizen. He's not even a Canadian resident. He was just basically just visiting. So that would be like if some American from Texas came to Canada and then left and then got in trouble and tried to sue Canada and say that his Canadian rights were violated. He ain't even a blasted Canadian. What the hell? And you know why he's doing this? Because Justin, the long-haired donkey, Matt Daddy of Canada, Trudeau, who was appointed, not elected as prime minister, this donkey that Canadians were stupid enough to elect, he gave over he gave about $10 million to Omar Khadr. And so all the Mustafas of the world and the Muhammads of the world and the Mufasas and every person living, every terrorist all over the world says to themselves, wow, this is a new way to get rich. This is a new way to get rich in the world. So if you want to know how to get rich, become an Islamic terrorist, get yourself in trouble, get the Americans to beat the hell out of you, and then sue Canada because your rights were violated, even though you weren't even a Canadian. This dude was not a Canadian. So, I mean, let's say, for example, I know there's a lot of Americans watching right now. let's say some American in Mississippi or Alabama or wherever the hell. Just just uh just imagine that. Just imagine that. And then you visit Canada and you try to apply for refugee status in Canada. And Canada says, hell no, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Get your ass out of here. And you go back and then you become a terrorist. And then you get caught by the Americans and they punch you up and beat you up and smash you up and whatever they do to you. And then you decide, well, I'm going to sue Canada for millions of dollars because my rights were violated, even though I'm not a Canadian. Even though I'm not a Canadian, I'm not even a resident of Canada, but my rights were violated because I was in Canada for about 2 days. I was trying to be a refugee. They said no. So that means I have no business in Canada. Oh, my rights were violated. Give me $50 million. You think he would try doing that in America with Trump? Trump would kick his ass right back to the Middle East. You try going suing America for $50 million, even if you were an American and your rights were violated. There are millions of Americans whose rights are violated every day, and they try and sue and they get nothing. This person here, he knows that Canada is most likely going to bend down and be like, yes, John, whatever his name is, yes, the long-haired Mac Daddy's going to lick his butt crack and be like, here's your $50 million. We got to respect the Muslims. We got to respect the Muslims and the Islam and everybody. It don't matter if the case is whatever. We got to respect the Muslims. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So every terrorist all over the world immediately tries to connect themselves with Canada so that in the event, Canada is basically their insurance. All of y'all are insurance for Islamic terrorists. All you Canadians out there. Shauna, you're insurance for Islamic terrorists. James Timlek is an insurance for Islamic terrorists. All of you Canadians out there who are watching this right now, just so you know, I am insurance to Islamic terrorists. All Canadians under Justin the long-haired Mac Daddy Trudeau, Canadians have become insurance for Islamic terrorists because in the event that these dogs, these pigs get caught and get arrested, what they will do is use Canada, which has become their insurance, and say, I'm going to sue Canada and get money and claim that my rights were violated because I know that Canada, with their disgusting clown of a prime minister, this donkey, is going to give it to me because we got to respect the Muslims. So this is what we've done in Canada. Congratulations. All 36 million of us have become insurance for Islamic terrorists. We were insurance for Omar Khadr. He got 10. This guy is a millionaire. What did he do in life? Kill 2 soldiers? This dude is a millionaire now. Millionaire. He's probably going to leave Canada, probably move to Beverly Hills or something like that, next to Britney Spears or Selena Gomez or something like that. One of those Hollywood places. Because Canada is the insurance for these evil, sick, bloodthirsty terrorists. I bet you if Osama bin Laden was alive today, he would probably pull the same con that Omar Khadr and this guy is doing. He would connect himself in some way to Canada, then commit an attack, then get caught and sue Canada for millions of dollars because he knows Canada under Trudeau would give it to him. This is what we've become as a country because of Justin the blasted donkey, devil from hell. And he's still, even though his polls are dropping, why the hell is he still ahead in the damn polls? Because Canada don't understand. Canada, we just don't seem to have, we have the worst judgment in the world. Canadians have the worst judgment in the world. And for those of you who are just joining me, Kelly Peg just joined. I see Malcolm has just joined. So what I'm talking about is that a terrorist from Algeria who got caught by the Americans and sent to Guantanamo Bay. This guy has nothing to do with Canada. He was living in Canada for about 2 days. He was denied refugee status. He's not a landed immigrant. He's not a citizen. He got caught by the Americans for terrorism, and now he's trying to sue Canada for $50 million, even because he says that his Canadian rights were violated by the Americans and Canada didn't do anything to help him. The dude wasn't even a Canadian. He was practically a visitor. But you know why he's doing this? Because he knows he'll get away with it. Because who's the Prime Minister of Canada right now? Justin, the long-haired donkey Mac Daddy of Canada, who gave $10 million to Omar Khadr, who blew up two soldiers. And the dude gets $10 million. So all of the Islamic terrorists around the world, are basically using Canada and Canadians as insurance in case they get caught. So what they'll do is that if they get caught, they will use Canada and Canadians as insurance by suing the country, saying, oh, well, my rights were violated. Give me $10 million or $50 million or $100 million. And Justin the long-haired Mac Daddy Trudeau says, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Muhammad. Yes, sir, I'll give it to you. No problem. You want cash or check? MoneyGram? You want Western Union? Whatever. That's it. I'll give it to you. Here's the password. Go to your Western Union and get your money. Because Canadians have become the insurance for Islamic terrorists. Malcolm, Dino, Garrett, Richard, Brian, all of us, all of y'all, me included. If you're a Canadian, you are insurance for a radical Islamic terrorist. Because the moment these people get into trouble, all they have to do is go to the long-haired donkey Trudeau and say, look here, boy, I'm going to sue you for this amount of money. Get ready to pay up. And Trudeau is like, yes, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'll pay you whatever you want. You want 100 million, I'll give it to you. You want 200 million, I'll give it to you. That's what we've become as a country. This is what the long-haired donkey Mac Daddy Trudeau has done to this country. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. I mean, how do you feel? All of you Canadians out there listening, how does it feel to be the biggest sucker for these Islamic terrorists when, even though they have nothing to do with our country, this Algerian man has nothing to do with our country. He's not a resident. He's not a citizen. He ain't not a refugee. He's nothing to Canada. And then all of a sudden he says he has the nerve, he has the insolence, he has the impertinence to sue our country for $50 million because he says his Canadian rights were violated when this dude has nothing to do with Canada. How does that feel? And then you have a prime minister who already has proven time and time again that he cares more about others around the world than his own country. We've got natives living with contaminated and poisonous water. The long-haired Mac Daddy's government hasn't given a penny to fix that problem. We've got veterans whose benefits have been cut. We've got diabetics in Canada whose benefits were just cut. Mentally ill Canadians' benefits were just cut. But then just the other day, he gives over $1 million to African and Middle Eastern countries to help with their food crisis after cutting on some of the most vulnerable Canadians out there. So how do you feel now that you have a prime minister who every time some Mufasa from some godforsaken part of the planet gets in trouble with the Americans, decides to sue Canada for a for millions of dollars because they know they're going to get the money. They know that Trudeau's going to come up with the money. He's just going to come up with the password, come up with the check. You want cash, check, or PayPal. That's what he's going to do. That's the only question Trudeau is going to ask these nasty ass people. You want check, cash, or PayPal? And then he finds the password and says, go up to your nearest Western Union and get the money. How does that feel, Canada? I'm asking specifically people who voted for this person. How does that feel? I mean, it probably feels good. I don't know. Many of y'all are, I don't know, maybe y'all are masochists. I don't know, but it don't feel good to me. I don't like the fact that my country is being used by Islamic terrorists who do some of the worst things to humankind as a piggy bank. I don't like these people feeling that they have the impertinence to come to sue our country after they were being punished by the Americans, and then claim that their Canadian rights were violated when they're not even Canadians. They're not even residents of Canada. They're not even refugees. Oh, but Trudeau will pay them. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So that's what's happening in Canada. One more time, I'll go over this before I log off. What I'm basically talking about. I mean, why doesn't this guy sue America? I mean, they're the ones who beat him up. They're the ones who beat him up and put him in Guantanamo Bay. Why don't he go sue the Americans? You know why? Because he knows that if he tries to sue Donald Trump's America for $50 million after they punished him for terrorism, they would slap him back to the desert. But Canada, oh, no, we bend to anybody. Oh, yes, you want $10 million? We give you $10 million. No problem. So basically, I'm going to go over this one more time, and then I'm going to log off. If you're just joining us, just know that the country of Canada, our once very proud country, has sadly become the insurance for radical Islamic terrorists. And we have an Algerian terrorist who is now suing Canada for $10 million because he says that Canada didn't protect him from the Americans after the Americans sent him to Guantanamo Bay, even though this guy is not even a Canadian in the first place. He's not even a refugee of Canada. He has nothing to do with Canada, but he's still suing Canada. And the thing that I'm saying is that the only reason he's doing this, and then he's got the big old balls to do this, is because he knows that Justin the long-haired Mac Daddy donkey Trudeau is prime minister, and he's willing to give anybody who sues Canada any amount of money that they ask for if they sue, or if they're suing for it, because that's the kind of person Trudeau is. He's a fool. He's a donkey. This is this is what he's done. And as a result, these Islamic terrorists are going to come one by one from all over the world to try and drain and bleed Canada financially. So if you want this to stop, first, you got to realize Justin the long-haired Mac Daddy donkey Trudeau has got to go. And if you vote for him again, or if you even think about voting for him again, you're disloyal, you're unpatriotic. You should probably just pack your bags and leave if this is because, you know, only somebody who has a deep hatred for Canada would support Trudeau having another 4 years. So you better think about this. Also, subscribe to the Arana Nation on YouTube, my YouTube channel. I haven't made a video in a while because my phone is dead, but I will be getting one very shortly, probably Wednesday, and it will come right back. And I'll be talking about this on the Arana Nation as well. So there you have it, and have a good evening.